into the organization you work for, maybe some history there.
All right. I am Zolean Bruner. I'm the current president for Sisters Network Dallas, Inc. We've been in existence since 2005. We saw a need here in the Metroplex to create an affiliate chapter that's part of our national chapter, which is Sisters Network Inc., which is in Houston, Texas. And from here, 2005 to now, 2025, we are in the community. We saw that need to be able to reach out to the community of African American women who are so much behind in the knowledge of what it is in being diagnosed with breast cancer. And so, with our organization affiliate coming in, we thought of bringing in educational support groups to be able to reach the community of African American women.
Yeah.
We're not just for the African American women. We won't turn anybody away, but our main mission is focusing on African American women that are being diagnosed with breast cancer, because we are often, a lot of times, diagnosed at a later stage.
Yeah.
And when you're at a later stage, that means that you have more aggressive treatments that you need to take into play when it comes to that. And so we're here now to educate, to be an advocate for yourself, and to start early by doing your self exams, knowing your family history, and knowing all of those components, so that way that you can address that issue with family, sisters, co-workers, whoever your circle is.
Yeah. So proactivity is a big thing, it seems like, because from what I'm gathering in our community, the proactiveness is lacking, which then allows it to be a little bit more deadly because we find out later, right? So this is obviously pivotal for the community, and having some form of a resource to allow them to have access to that, which is fantastic, especially 20 years of doing that. I'm sure the impact's already been great, and it's going to continue to grow here, which is kind of what we're in.
Exactly,
I mean,
yes.
This explains everything, right?
Right,
So Breast
right.
Friends Forever, let's talk about that campaign for a second. I think it's clever. I know the Breast Friends Forever there's a part of it that essentially is going to educate folks, edify people. It's going to bring in membership, obviously,
Right,
and then
right.
help manage some partnerships. There's so many applications to this, but tell me what's most exciting you think about when you consider the Breast Friends Forever campaign. What is most exciting to you? What stands out the most, would you say?
Being a part of the movement of the breast cancer campaign is
Yeah.
being a part of the movement by coming in to connect with others, young women today, because we have more now of younger women 30 and under that are being diagnosed with breast cancer now, whereas before, you thought this disease was connected to women of older women, but it's affecting everyone at all ages. And so this campaign would be a part to where we can come together, reach those younger women, educate them, let them know about, this disease, and it can affect anybody. You can be in the best of health, be in the best shape, but what happens when it comes to your door?
That's right.
And so you want to be able to find a support group or a community of women that have already got this going, that you can tap into to be able to know that this is affecting me. How do I go about doing this? This is a challenge, and what do I need to do next? Who do I need to talk to? We have a page of resources, connecting them to the resources to be able to go and get the information that is needed, whether it's resources for what doctor is best for you, resources if you need assistance, resources if you need to do a mammogram.
Right.
This is all part of being connected to the network of this campaign of Breast Friends Forever.
That's right. So it's like, can I be your BFF, right? And what does that encounter? Well, if you're the Sisters Network BFF, to your point, you get access to some of the best doctors,
Yes.
some of the best education around the subject, which again we're lacking sorely in the African American community. So this is huge. Edification is another thing, because there's a lot of great faces out there that are doing
Yes.
this work that we don't know, we don't see enough, and again, if we're not putting that in the forefront, we're going to miss out. So BFF will be great. So I can't wait to see what that does for you guys, and especially, for social media and how it's going to impact the community that way. And this is in terms of a great transition. Right now, you essentially are in need of a BFF, right? Aren't you kind of going through a journey right now? And
Yes, I'm going through my journey. I could say after 23 years of being cancer-free, I had that pivotal moment in life this year. Well, I should say 2024. There was a pivotal moment in life that came back to my door. And, when it came back to my door, it's not that it caught me by surprise because I've already been on the journey before. Mm-hmm. But it was a pivotal point because I had to do things differently this time around as opposed to 23 years ago, because technology has changed, the way they screen, everything has changed, and the way that they do certain procedures has changed. And so this pivotal moment in life that I had to take this time around was doing a double mastectomy. I had options on the table of what I could do, but I wanted to be more radical and more aggressive to where that I could have the emotional ease of not having to think about that in the back of my mind, that if this would return. I'm not saying it couldn't, but I wanted to be able to have that choice to say, okay, this is going to be my decision of going in and doing this. And so that's what I chose to do, was to do a radical double mastectomy, and it's changed everything of who I am now because of that pivotal turn that I had to take.
so that's why I asked if it was difficult, because
Yeah, is it a struggle?
yeah,
Well, yes and no. Yeah.
it could be either or.
I mean, there are moments, yeah.
But tell me about that. Well, again, pivoting is not easy. So, what do you mean you struggle with it a little bit? What does that look like?
Well, because, things that you were just routine, you just go day in and day out. Mm-hmm. It's a different change. Your body is different now. Sure. The mindset is different now. I guess you could say you don't take things for granted. You're having to step back and realize that, oh, this is different now. And so I'm looking at life differently.
Well, is there
and looking
an
at
example?
Yeah.
Maybe if you're living day to day, what is there something that you've done in your day to day that it just clicked in that moment, like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot this is my new life now. Is there something like that?
Yes.
Or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Where before, you never gave any thought about, if I can just say, for example, going out to a meeting.
Sure.
Now I have to think about, well, okay, let me just make sure that I'm not overdoing it. I have to listen to my body now. That's before, right. You just automatically on automatic pilot. You just get up and you just go and not give thought about it until later. But now I'm thinking more conscious of myself. Before, you just kind of, in one of those things, you just go and you just go. But now that this has taken place, I'm not really thinking about that. I'm not thinking about what I need to do at that particular time. I'm thinking about, is it the right time?
That's good.
Is it the right time for me to do it? And I'm not thinking about what somebody else says I need to do. Yeah. I'm thinking about myself 100%, because, people can put you in a box and make you think that you need to do this or you need to be here, or put you in a place of guilt. And you have to find some point that's not, if you're wanting to be looking out for yourself to make sure that you're living your best life, then you're going to have to be able to put those type of thoughts and those type of things that people can box you in to the side. Yeah. And look at it from the standpoint that this is my life and this is what I need to do now. And so because of that change, that's making me look to do things different. I'm not able to get up and do the normal routine of walking or the exercise, because now I'm still in that phase until I get to the second stage of the part of the end of the journey. And so I'm just about there. I'm getting ready to have my reconstruction here in a few weeks. And so hopefully with the reconstruction, life can be back to a little bit of normalcy as opposed to a little bit of hesitance about limitations.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm looking at. I'm wanting to put closure so I can be able to move a little bit further. Not going back to what I used to do, just going, but looking at it a little different,
Well, that's probably a good thing. You know, that's funny about the struggle being that you find that there is a struggle there because it's now you're conscious, but the struggle actually is a healthy thing. To be
Yes.
conscious of your body,
Yes.
conscious of how it's talking to you.
Yes.
I think we all should do something like that. So it's just funny you have a positive way of thinking about this because I'm sure there's a lot of women that are listening and will be listening that'll say, I'm looking for something bright. So this is good. This is why the sisterhood is real.
Yes.
This is why it's necessary, which is a good transition. I think we need to talk more about that. You know, one, you know, how can someone, okay, let's be specific, right? I'm between 20 and 30 years old. I'm scared. There's a lot of people around me that are my friends that are being diagnosed, people that are losing their life. I don't know anything, right?
Right.
I'm reaching for something. What does that look like for Sister Network? How do I get in contact with these people? How do I get resources from these folks? What does that look like?
Well, I would say even just looking at it from my standpoint, because I was in my 40s when I was first diagnosed. And, at that age, you didn't hear much of people talking about, the diagnosis. And so I kind of went through that journey kind of alone until I was able to connect with Sisters Network. And it's just by happen to being able to be in a meeting where somebody else was a part of that organization. And she began to explain that there is other women that are going through just what you're going through. This would be a good fit for you to get connected with the organization. And so from there, that's how I began to really find out that there's more people that are dealing with this diagnosis than just myself, and so I just took on the opportunity to get involved. I got in with everything and began to work by volunteering. And that's where I started. Because when you began volunteering, you began to find a passion and you began to look at it from a standpoint that other people are going through this. What can I do to share? Can I share my story, my testimony about what I did, what doctors I did, what treatments I did, how did it make the treatments, how did they react to my body? Just finding out all of those things that are necessary to help you emotionally and physically when you're going through the journey. Because if you don't have that, then you're suffering in silence. Because that's one of the areas that we talk about, suffering in silence. And so we don't want women of color to suffer in silence. We want to be able to be there as a sisterhood, to be around and rally around those women that are also in the same journey, to let them know and want to be able to become their best friend forever.
That's perfect. So the last time I'll say here is, first of all, this has been fantastic. Again, not a lot of people are going through what you're going through here to be able to explain that to the world and bring insight to breast cancer, specifically how it impacts the African American woman, specifically how it impacts her without a society, a community to be a part of, right? So I know off camera you talked to me about two big things, which is the BCAP program and mammograms. Can you dig into that a little bit more? Because I know we now know that volunteerism is a way to get in. You can probably visit your website and kind of contact you about that. But you talked to me about BCAP and mammograms. Tell me a little bit more about that.
The mammograms is one of our key components of the organization and all of our affiliates, because that's where everything starts, is doing a mammogram. And if you are one of those people that say you don't have the funding for mammogram, that's why we are in the community and use those supports that we get from our partners to help with those mammograms, because you have a lot of women that are uninsured that don't have the funding to be able to go and do a mammogram. I have a call just now that I've received just this past week. She wants to have a mammogram done. And that way we can she can choose the place she wants to go of her choice, or we have a partnership with Soulless Mammography, which is one of our partners that we can send people to get a mammogram done. We also have UT Southwestern is one of our partnerships that we have tapped into to get those mammograms done. And anybody that is in need of that, we've already got that set up with that hospital or that imaging center to go in and get that mammogram done, and no questions asked, because Sisters Network Dallas has already made it available for that individual. Wow. And then taking it a step further, funding is also a big component when we get funding from partnerships and from donors within the community or organization that would choose to see the mission of what we're doing through the BCAP program, which is called our Breast Cancer Assistance Program. And in that program, we provide financial support to that individual that is going through treatment. And that resource helps that individual take off the emotional part of, is my rent going to be paid? Is my light bill going to be paid? Am I going to have enough food in my house? Or if I'm going to be able to get to my treatments? And so all of that funding helps with a drive with, gas to your treatment, or helping you take off the concern of whether or not if my other things that are needed to be paid is, how should I say?
Like it's taken care of.
It's taken care of.
Yeah, it's already
yes.
done. Yeah.
And so when we receive those type of donations, that helps go back into the community to help that individual. So when they visit the website, or if they email us, or if they call and say that they need these type of assistance, that's where we can tap into and say, yes, we can step in and be your BFF to help you in that area of need. And that makes it so much better, because when you have somebody that can do that, because a lot of times when you're diagnosed, women, you lose it all. You don't even think about it, about what you need to do, because that word, the C word, it takes everything off the table. Your whole thought of anything else that you need to do is gone.
Yeah, because it's hard to focus when you got such a looming, I wouldn't say dooming, because there's a lot of growth in terms of people surviving. This is the survivorship organization, so I don't mean it that way. I guess there's a looming synopsis in your brain, like, wow, there's this thing that could really impact my life. It's hard to focus on other things, right? So
So that's
it's good to get to a point where I have a place to put those anxieties and it be accepted by people like me. And that's why I think this is good.
Yes, and so that's why I think it's very important to surround yourself with sisters of like-minded that is dealing with that. And that's why I figure in our organization we have a lot of connection with a lot of the sororities, that are in the community, because from there you have a lot of women that are also could be challenged with the same, issue of breast cancer diagnosis. And so there are a lot of our components that we can connect to as well with the community.
Yes, it's just amazing. It's like a double down. You get to tap into the already built organizations in the Greek organizations and bring them over to a breast cancer survivor group.
Yes.
It's a win.
And to be able to promote breast health in those sororities, yes.
That's a win.
Yes.
Zolean, you've been fantastic. I've got nothing else. I think you've answered all my questions, and I guess I have one more question: is, can I be your BFF? No?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Guys can join too, is what you're saying.
Yes,
Okay.
guys can join too as well. We can call that, what we've had that's not really been really activated a lot is our pink tie guy.
Ah, pink tie guy. I like that.
That would be another way that men can come in and be a part of our affiliate here in Dallas, is by becoming a pink tie guy.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know men get breast cancer too.
Yes, and men gets breast cancer as well, but the
Yeah.
pink tie guy would be involved as well to
so
be able to volunteer and to help support, the organization as well. And so the community is here to, we're here in the community to be able to support the community. And so volunteering is a big component. So how you can help is by volunteering. Volunteering your skills, volunteering to work with us throughout the year with the various events that we do that are coming up. Our annual walk is coming up September the 27th. 2025. I'd love to see you there with your team, with family members, just walking, for the cause. Our theme that has been over the years is 6,000 sisters, 6,000 steps for hope. And we got many other things that are coming along. Our national walk is coming up April 2025. We can go and support, on the national level by joining our national in April to come and walk with them as well. And so all of these things come by just volunteering, being a part of it. And when you volunteer, to me, volunteering is always showing an act of kindness, patience, and compassion for somebody in the community, and volunteering, to say, I'm willing to help because I love the mission of what you're doing. Yeah. And that mission is being able to stop the silence, being able to tap into the community of the African American women, knowing that you're not alone in this. You have other people in the organization that can be here for you. We can pair you up with someone. If you prefer to talk with someone one-on-one, we can do that just as well. Or you can join us in our support group, which is a monthly support group where we meet every third Tuesday of the month, and we bring in health professions that come in and talk about what's important to you when you are going through the breast cancer journey.
Thank you so much once again, Ms. Zolean. I'm wrapped. You guys got anything extra?